And welcome back to another episode breakdown and spoiler review for The Walking Teens. It's episode 4, so if you don't want any spoilers, do not watch this. This series I have really mixed feelings about because I love The Walking Dead world. I love the series, I love everything they've created about it. I love the graphic novels, I love the 2 seasons, The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, I love it all. So I was really willing myself to continue watching this series because I feel like it hasn't been given a chance yet, that it's doing some new things. And so with the new things, because we're not used to them, we kind of, me as well, tend to go, I don't like that. And there's one particular thing that they use, and this episode it comes back, where when you have like a memory that's not quite real, but it could have been real, they have this silhouette. So you have the memory playing out, and then you have the silhouette around the characters like it's funky and cool. And I don't know why they've done that. Wait. That's a lie. I know why they've done it, because they're trying to go for a new demographic for the Walking Dead series. It just comes across as it doesn't belong there. It doesn't belong in the Walking Dead world. It's a weird thing to have. And I thought they had phased it out, but it's back. At the end of episode 3, we had that last 7 minutes, which redeemed the whole episode for me. Really interesting, really strong, really building those characters, giving us a bad guy or bad woman, the Catherine Captain Janeway lookalike, as I call her. So as much as I dislike parts of this series, there are moments or minutes where I'm like, imagine if they continue down this road, the series could be really interesting, what they do with the storyline. And so this episode, our group, our teens and our 2 adults, find themselves in an abandoned school. They decide to rest up there. The adults are wanting to spread the teens into 2 different teams so they can kind of work on them to get them to actually make their way back. They feel like these teens are not ready to be out in the open, and the only way they're going to convince them is if they kind of work them against each other. And so that's what this episode is.
Hey, why don't you talk to him? Convince him to change his mind. I'll handle Hope.
Copy.
The teens need to go and collect stuff like food and medical supplies, anything they can find their hands of, because the school seems to have been left untouched because it's overgrown, and so they may find stuff in this school. And so as we journey with these kids and the adults along the school hallways, in the gymnasium, in the medical place, in the food, in the teachers' lounge, all of the rooms that you get in school, it's all derelict and broken. For the most part, it's empty. They go down memory lane, and we get flashbacks again, and we get character development again. Essentially, 40 minutes of this episode is monologuing, exposition dumping, trying to build up backstories again. It is weird, though, that they're continuing to do this, because the next episode, we're halfway through the season, and basically not a lot has happened except for the kids escaped, some people died, the kids are trying to figure out how they're going to survive in this world, the adults have met up with them, and that's kind of the storyline. They haven't really progressed that much closer, as far as we can tell, to getting their dad, or they haven't really built up that backstory. They're giving us little bits of information about the bad guys and what they're doing, but it is quite frustrating because you really need bad guys. Other than the zombies, you need to develop. There needs to be an impending doom that's always evident in The Walking Dead. That's what it's always kind of been about. It's more than the zombies, it's the people they meet. The bad evil has always been the people more than the zombies. The zombies are just doing what's in their nature, to eat people, and so they almost become not as scary. In fact, what I really like about these particular episodes, well, the best parts of these episodes, has always been the zombie makeup, because they're so good at what they do now. And then this episode, this is the same. There is a moment or a scene where you see a zombie head, and it's a bit of its body, and it's kind of grown into the floor in one of these schoolrooms, and it's just fantastic. And it's always a showcase for how good at what they do. So if you love zombie creations and different types of zombies, you're always going to get that in this series. Like I said, they're amazing at what they do. They also meet up with a wolf that they kind of have to herd around and run around and move away from. And the wolf is probably one of the scariest things in this episode. It brings attention that is much needed, because there's a lot of teenage angst in this episode, unfortunately, because there's a lot of expositioning, dumping, and trying to build relationships. There's the adults trying to separate the kids, trying to herd them towards home because they don't believe that they're ready yet. So we have that continuing kind of push and pull with the adults want to do, what the teens want to do.
Get back.
We have Silas, who finally succumbs to his rage that's been building. He's by far my favorite character, I think, out of the teens. We've had in episode 3 where they were showing us his kind of backstory, which I liked in episode 3. Episode 4, we see him succumb to his rage, and you see the repercussions of that, like what happens to a zombie because of that. And I thought that was quite good. We see him actually kill a zombie, which I thought was great. There's that moment where it flashbacks to like when he was going all rage. And I feel like he just went, okay, I'm living this world now. I kind of need to let myself do that. And I thought that was a nice bit of character development for him. By far the best moment of this episode, or best minute of this episode, is not in the episode. Right after the credits, there is an end credits scene that's like a minute long, which shows us what scientists are up to. There's a photograph with the dad. And this woman that is kind of in control or in authority of having control over this facility of what they're doing to the zombies. The zombies are on like these bags, and they're obviously testing on them. It looks like they're all the people that they've killed from the town they've brought to do tests on, because they've obviously turned. And so I thought that was probably the best bit. It's a weird thing to put that at the end of the credits. I would have put it at the end of the episode, just done a fade to black and allow everybody to watch it, because not many people will actually watch the end credits. I mean, watch the whole credit run through. Who does that? So there's about a minute run through, and then there's another minute of footage, which is a weird decision, and possibly definitely the best minute of the episode. Makes it much more interesting, gives you a bit more weight as to what they are actually doing, and you know, kind of cements like, well, these guys are really up to no good, or are they really trying to find a cure, but how they're going about it is not exactly moral. And in this world, it doesn't seem like many people are there to talk about morals. They just got to get on with the job and do what they got to do to save the human race. And if that means bending the lines or going over the lines, or there are no more lines, then that's okay. And so it's interesting now to see what they're up to. I hope they follow that storyline in the next few episodes, because like I said, we are now, well, the next episode will be the halfway point. They really need to up the scale, the tension, bring about the bad guys and what the kids have to go through. We need to see the kids get injured, or one of them get taken out, or in actual turmoil, and them not have to do a speech of, oh, I thought you were almost dead, and I know, rather than them teens being in the world, not of the world. That makes sense, I think. Let me know in the comments below, which is your favorite character, which is your favorite episode so far. Have you enjoyed anything? Will you continue to watch it? I'd love to chat to you about that in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching this. We have a cornucopia of content coming out this week. We're covering some of London Fright Fest, which has some world premieres, showcasing some really interesting talent. Some new, some not so new, but there's some really interesting films, and I'm really excited to kind of show you guys. So we'll be putting out a bunch of that, and as well as our normal content. So I hope you have subscribed. I hope you like this, and comment down below. Thanks so much for watching this, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.